but I write every day. 3 of the pages every morning. For 20 minutes, I just dump my brain on there. So this would be that day. So I've sat here, and then this second page, and then the third page. So it's 3 sides. And the next day, you start here. So anyway, something happened yesterday. And I thought of a young lady that contacted me. Her name is Miranda. So those of you on TikTok, I need to ask you to, if you have genuine questions, they're really good questions, and I have the answer. And it's not, the questions are good, they weren't disrespectful or anything. There are those, but if you have a private account, I can't correspond with you. If you have a private account, I am not able to follow you because you know how it is, right? But this question was quite genuine, and I couldn't answer the young person. So there might be another way. I appreciate and I value that you have a private account, but you can go to Instagram and DM me if you have that, or send me, information about me is all over the internet, so you can find a way to find me, and I will answer your question. Because when I come here to give something, I want you to be part of it. And if you have a question, that is how I help you. And that is how maybe my answer might not help you, but it might trigger something that will help you. So when you ask a question, make sure that I can get back to you. If I can't, I am sorry, I'm not ignoring you. So this is my apology for today. So let us look at what we are doing. So as I started this, so let's start the morning lesson. So I'm writing in that every morning. So, and there is a glitch. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is a wonderful morning. And as you know, I'm Tessa-Marie, and this is the morning blessing. Some people from TikTok say, we don't know who you are and what you're doing. What is the morning blessing? So this is it. Good morning, I'm Tessa-Marie, and this is the morning blessing. The glitch. So here, I have used Hilroy books for decades. Notebooks for decades. But today, when I was writing yesterday morning, something triggered in me. I turned the page, so let me see if I can get to it for you. I didn't stop and just ignore it. I'll tell you what happened. So as you can see, and you guys all know, there's a margin. There's always a margin. So anyway, I come across this page. I turned over, I came here. So there should be a margin here. Right? No margin. This one has a margin. And if you go over, the margin is here. The margin's everywhere, right? Not at the end, but they're there. So when I noticed the margin was missing, I stopped, and I said, no. I noticed it instantly because I started writing towards the end of the page. And so that is where every morning I write randomly. I dump my thoughts, call my sister, pay my living expenses, call my friend Colin, talk to Nancy, onto those pages. I use Hilroy notebook, 8.5 by 11 for years, 3 pages. So let me paint this picture for you. Every page has a red line down the side, except yesterday, I turned the page and the margin was gone. So I didn't get upset. I smiled. I thought maybe I never noticed that this is in all those years that the margins, they're not always margins. But no, I checked it. I was right. The margin was missing, literally missing. And when I saw that, I thought of this young lady called Miranda. Miranda, my friend, is looking for the perfectness in her life. And she told me, Tessa-Marie, I want that perfect person that would last forever. The perfect husband and the perfect life with everything cookie cutter. So today, a notebook page taught me why she'll never find that and why that's actually a blessing. You'll never get the perfect partner. It's actually a blessing. And she'll never find that. And why would this have to do with Hilroy, a notebook? The thing is, this company is 100 years old. And there it is, all those years. Why this particular one? Nobody knows, but it happens. So stop trying to live inside the margin. That is what it brought to me from Miranda. Stop going inside of the margin. Let's talk about the prosperity of the missing line. That lover, that boyfriend, that person you want to date, and there's something missing, right? That you're looking for in them. So is it swipe? You guys know better. Whichever direction you go, hello, Barry. Whichever direction you go, you swipe. Because there's a missing ingredient in that person. You don't like something you see visually or what they've written about themselves. And that's okay. So when you're accustomed to doing something like I was, and then all of a sudden that line in the Hilroy book is missing, and for decades the line has always been there and it's missing. It shocked me, and I looked at it and I just smiled and I go, wow, Miranda. She wants the perfect husband, the perfect life. And yet, there is a 100-year-old company that has computers, that's been in existence for eternal, is missing a line. Why did that happen? And why did I discover it just the day after speaking with her? So you see, when we come across something that is not perfect, we have to look at it in a different way. And we have to see why this random thing happened, which never really happens. It has never happened to me before, but suddenly it did. So let me paint the picture for you. Every day, every page has this red line, right down the side, except that day. Why? Did I need this as an analogy, an example to tell Miranda? I'm talking with her today again. So I thought of Miranda, and I told her I was going to mention her name. And then I said, you want perfection. And if you want it in a husband, a wife, a lover, what you're looking for, the perfect career, the perfect home, the perfect husband, she's looking for that red line in every part of her life. So everything is in this red line. This is the point I'm trying to make. This is the point I'm going to make. If a company as old as Hilroy can have an error in one thing they are best known for, why do we strive so hard to be perfect in everything we do and desire? Why? We didn't put that on us. We didn't know we had to be perfect when we did something. But the people that brought us up told us to strive to be perfect. And then, because of that, many people turn out to be procrastinators. And when we meet somebody that procrastinates quite a lot, we look at them and we consider them lazy and everything like that. They're not lazy. They're just scared of imperfection. They're frightened that if they do this, somebody will see a flaw in it. And that frightens them. So they have all the ingredients to start. I know someone who took 3 years to paint a wall. 3 years. For 3 years, that wall had one coat on or two coats, whatever it was. They couldn't bring themselves to do this. And of course, they didn't know. But the observation was, it's not because they couldn't do it. They were afraid that if they did it, somebody would see the imperfection. If Hilroy would tell me this happens once in 100 years, it could just have been when the ink ran out or something happened. I don't know. But the point of it is that there is no perfection in anything or anyone. And sometimes because we're looking for that, we miss the boat. We miss a great relationship. We miss a great life. We miss a great opportunity. That doesn't mean that you have to take every opportunity that comes and do it that way. But you have to look at it and see that it's not perfect. It certainly is not perfect. You can go closer to nature and check a tree and check the branches. Of course, you can look closer and you will see The leaves, although it's the same tree, they might differ slightly. And an insect might have caused that, or just the way it unfurled and the sun hit that young leaf. So why do we strive for this perfection? We have these pillars that keeps us going, that the 5 pillars application in our life. Mentally, the mental pillar, I'm trusting that you guys can see the picture of what is going on. When we demand perfection, we create mental stress. When we accept the missing margin, we find peace. And we just work with what we've got. There is peace. But when we first find it, I was shocked. It hit me that I saw no margin there, and I questioned it. I smiled. And that reaction is normal for me. When something is not pleasant, it's not good enough, or something is happening in my life, I usually just look at it and I smile before I take an action. And that's just me. And so instead of, maybe somebody else would not notice it, but I did. So I wanted to know. I checked it out. But I was still able to write, though. It wasn't as good because I didn't have the line. So I was going a little further than if there was the line to guide me. And that is normal. If we have a line to guide us, we stay within the line. I didn't stop writing. You see, this is the page. So the line should be right here, like this page. But it wasn't. And so look at the difference. See? I didn't stay. I went closer to the edge. And there, I stayed with the line. So we have to understand that, yes. But that means I don't write my thoughts down. I don't collect the data I need for later on to know what it was I was thinking that day, just in case I happen to pick this book again, which seldom do. So if this company, as old as Hilroy, can have an error in the one thing they're best known for, the question is, why do we strive so hard to be perfect in everything we do and desire? When we demand perfection, we create mental stress. When we accept the missing margin, we find peace. When you want to carve your body to be something, you're stressing. When you're forcing yourself to lose the weight but not going gently. When you're anxious about paying down your debt but not taking your time and going slowly. When we do all of that, we are looking for perfection, which doesn't exist in so many different parts of our life. So the next time you meet somebody that tells you, I will soon come to do this, I will be there, or I will do this. Yes, I'll do it. You must look at them and study them a bit, because what is going on in their mind is, if I do this, will it be acceptable, or will others criticize me? So they procrastinate. That's why. Somebody once told me, if I could do this, if I could sew, I would make this better than you. So that means, and that person could never sew. So if they could, they would do it better. So when somebody tells you something like that, you have to consider where it's coming from and look at what they have accomplished. Most likely, they have not understood that you have to step into the pool for you to learn to swim. You cannot stay on the side and say, I'm going to swim today. Unless somebody tosses you in, then it's a choice. You could sink. So the spiritual pillar, though, that's the one that hits you there. There is beauty in the error. The blank space where the line should be is where God leaves room for us to grow. That is where we expand. So there is beauty in every error. It's the blank space where the line should be. God leaves room for us to grow. Maybe I needed to put 2 more words, and that space where I went further to the edge was allowing me to do this, because you see, I stop at the end of 3 sides of pages. And here's another way of saying that. Your flaws are not failures. They are features. So what perfect thing you're looking for is not a failure. It's a feature. It's something special in you. And you have to remember that and make sure you take note of that. Even in our finances, financial pillar, we want everything to line up perfectly. But sometimes the glitch is what forces us to look closer and find a new way to prosper. It's the glitch. It's always the glitch that has the message. It's the glitch that makes you realize this is not working. It's the glitch that lets you know your finger is sore, and it's a glitch. You don't even know why, and then you find out, it's maybe arthritis in your hand or your shoulder or your neck or wherever it is. It's always the glitch that forces you to take aim and to fix what is not working in your life. Nothing else. It's only when we are broken we head north to fix it. My friend's car was making an unusual noise, and she knows it's her car. So she didn't know what it was. She thought it was that, and maybe it was. She took it to the mechanic, and he said, "You were right." And he fixed it and told her, well, it's not making the noise anymore, but he made a joke out of it. That was the glitch, though. She had to go and open up to find out what was going on, to fix that. Without that sound today, without losing the margin yesterday, I cannot tell Miranda perfection in anything like that is going to be leading to disappointment. Sometimes we look at our finances and it's not going in the direction we desire it to go. And then no matter how hard some people say to me, I put money aside, Tessa-Marie, but I always need to take it out. There is always something that comes up. And as you guys know, I coach that. So when somebody tells me, I say you need to save something and give them a plan and say, figure this out, how much you spend on everything. They don't do all of that. But they decide they're going to save $500. And you can, if you have the income, and you can have a low amount of expenses, you can. And if you have a lot of money, yes, you can. But if you're talking to me, you already have some glitches. You already have some things that are not quite working for you. So, of course, when you come for financial counseling, you have a glitch already. So when I ask you to save some money, a small amount, and of course you're anxious, you want to succeed, you cannot wait. So that's what I'm trying to explain. The line is not there. So what do? You stop. Not seeing the line. Put $500 in. 2 weeks later, when you see me again, and I ask, how is the savings been going? Well, I did put $500 in. And I was so excited. But things came up, and I had to use about $480. So all I have left in the savings account is $20. So then I said to them, then that's what you should be saving. $20 a pay and no more. But how will I get there? Take a chance. Do not look for the line. Do your best. Stay focused on $20 a pay. You will get there. It's a very small drizzle of rain that soaks the soil so the farmer can plant seeds. If it's too heavy, it washes away the topsoil and he cannot do anything. So when we look at it, the bottom line is this. Here it is. You're more than the lines on a page. You are the story being written. You are more than your failures. You're more than what you see that is not perfect. It's all about you. You are in process. As long as you're alive, you are in the process too. And your right is to taste the journey. You see, life is a journey, and we know that. That's redundant, really, for me to say that. Life is a journey. But it's the taste of the journey that makes you unique. When you get to a certain age, a certain old age like me, you look at the journey differently. You realize all the glitches was what made you unique. You realize it's all the glitches that allow you to become inside rather than get forced into the fray. The glitch stopped you. And there, because you stopped, you were able to observe. So when you face these glitches that you're facing now in your life, remember, they're just a glitch. It's just a moment in time. And moments in time disappear. Yes, they leave a memory. They're rememberable, but they're not renewable. They will never come back the same way because time is not renewable. So glitches on our way is what makes the wave really better for us. A little bit of disturbance puts us back in balance. So the lines within the page should not keep you back. The lines not on the page should not keep you back. The only line that matters is the line you forge yourself, because you see, as you do that, you're writing your story. Every step we make every day, we write our story. We're bringing ourselves back to hear the story. And then the thing is, when you are in the story, you don't see it. You just do it. It's when you stop and you're out of the story that you can see. And they have told us that you can't see the forest for the trees because you're in it. You're part of the making of it. So you can't see it. You have to step back. And the only way you step back to see your growth is as you develop as a human being and you go through life with your experiences. And it's only when you look at what happened 30 years ago, you realize why it happened at that time. Because that was when you learned to swim. That was when you learned that you can step in raging water and even muddy water and swim. Because it was muddy. It was raging. It was devastating. But then now is the time you can look at it and say, so that's why I needed this. I developed grit. All these little glitches on the journey called life makes you stronger. They say that though. What doesn't break you make you stronger. Even when it brings you down to your knees and you have to get on all fours to come back up again, you will get out of it. The glitch does not make it right, and there is no perfection. If you have a relationship and you want it to stay the same way, you are saying to that human being, I do not want you to grow and have experiences and experience things in life. I want you to stay as you are because you're perfect for me now. The thing is though, at that time, we too are changing. We too are developing, but we do not want to see them change. And do you know why? Because we're afraid. We're afraid of change. The glitch. I was shocked when there was no line there. I smiled because, as I said, it's my habit to smile when I meet an obstacle. And that is what calms me down. Okay, that's unusual. And I go looking for it. So perfection does not exist. And today, you see, what I really want you to get, here is the last thing, the bottom line, the final thing. You're more than that line. You're more than perfection. You're more than everything you face. You are a story being written. And you have a choice. You are the storyteller. You can weave the tale in whatever way you want. And you can create the story from your experiences. But you will not find perfection in the entire story. Many people will criticize people's books and they will tell you that this was wrong. There was an error here. That's cool. But we didn't discard Shakespeare, did we? We made their errors. George Bernard Shaw, Mark Twain, their errors, But their books are still here. So write your story because your story is still going to be here. Every day we are writing. As Shakespeare said, the world is a stage and we're all actors. We're all actors. So the point of it is to do your best so you can get your Oscar. Because the world is a stage and we're all playing a part. It's a play. Life is a play, and our part in the play is what makes us stand out. So, may you find the joy in your mistakes today. Smile at your mistakes. May you smile at your missing margins and realize you're still valuable, still capable, and still prosperous. Whatever it is, that is the glitch, the missing, that is not making it perfect. That dish you cooked, but you just add a tad too much salt. The experiment you saw on Facebook to try, and it just didn't look as they said it would. Smile. The most important thing you've done is that you did it. It's your story. You will remember. You might share it with me or somebody else. So that's why you have to find joy in your mistakes. Whatever doesn't work, do not look for perfection and throw it away. Again, as I said, you swipe right or left. I have no idea how swiping is going. But when you swipe, before you swipe, life, an opportunity, because of doubt and fear, because you believe you're not good enough, before you do all of that, stop for a moment and breathe into it and look, why is this going like this? What am I supposed to learn? What is the lesson here? Because you see, you are still valuable. No matter what, you're still capable and you're still prosperous. Every one of those are choices. Yes, you might have hurt yourself, broke your arm, have this, that, but you're still valuable. And perfection does not exist in that way. It just doesn't. So do not try to remake what is. I could have taken a red pen and draw the line. I had to work with what I got. So this is you are it. You have to work with what you've got. And as you know, I am Tessa-Marie. So walk with your 5 pillars and choose whichever one you know for sure you need to fix today. Because each and every